Hey everyone. So I haven't really been active on here for a really long time, and just to keep the explanation short, I did my final work placement for uni at the end of 2017, and then straight after that, I got offered a temp job, which happened to be in a town 7 hours away from my home city of Sydney, Australia, and that job took up a lot of my time. And then at the beginning of this year, I got my second posting again in a different town, and I've been extremely busy with that. I do have some video footage of a gig I did a few months back that I keep meaning to post online, but I haven't done so. One thing you should know about moving from a large city to a small town is that the choices of things to do become diminished. And one thing that happened when I first moved out of Sydney was I started watching a lot of videos from the YouTube singing teacher community, mainly Tristan Paredes, who kind of inspired this video a little bit. Honestly, this kind of changed my entire perspective on singing and vocal performance and music and all that. So a little bit of background. Anyone who's watched videos on this channel ever know that I've been singing for a number of years. I went to school for vocal performance and I released an EP in 2016 that I'm actually seriously considering taking down because it's all songs I recorded between 2010 and 2012. In other words, age 16 to age 18. Really doesn't reflect me musically, and I don't really like how my voice sounds on it. So growing up, I was always told that I was a good singer and get given a lot of solos in my choir, but I find that very difficult to believe because of the amount of terrible voice recordings of myself that exist on my computer. So we're going to have a little bit of fun, and we're going to react to some of those videos. So the first one we're going to react to is a cover of Moon River from the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, and I know it's from 2009 because I've got a really obvious braces lisp happening, and I got those in 2009, so just be aware. I think if any cover screams, I've never had a vocal teacher and I have no idea how to perform, I think this would be it. Ooh, that was off. That bit didn't sound too bad. So I'm just going to pause it here. So there are bits where the vocal just disappears. I think it's probably because I picked the wrong key to sing it in, and I didn't use a microphone. And the weird thing is I actually chose to perform this song at 15. It's just like a weird, baffling song choice that doesn't really make much sense. That's the key I chose to sing it in because I'd never had any training, and obviously when you've never had any training, you don't know how high you can sing, so you pick the lowest possible key to sing it in. So yeah, anyway, let's keep going. I look like a scared deer in the headlights or something. My hands are just like clenched shut. It's just so awkward. I'm like barely opening my mouth as well. I'm trying to get a little bit louder here because it's, I think I sang the main thing twice to make it longer. I've just noticed as well, like my facial expression does not change at all in the performance, and like if you're singing something, your facial expression should probably change to like reflect the song. I think I just didn't think about what songs meant and how to perform. I think I was very much focused on the notes. Interestingly enough, I remember getting a decent mark for this performance, but looking back on it, this is pretty bad. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just like I would never choose to sing like this. Oh, get ready for the big finish. That was very underwhelming. And that's the only time I smiled throughout the whole performance. It's great. Next video. This is another school performance. This time I'm singing Ben by Michael Jackson. If you want to impress people with your vocal ability, sing a song about a child with their pet rat always works. Point out, I'm just gonna pause it. I just like to point out that the reason it's filmed vertically and it's very zoomed out is because this wasn't filmed on an iPhone. This was filmed on an iPod Nano in 2010. Again, like the other one, like bad key. Why would anyone choose to sing it in such a low key? I mean, I know why I've sung it in a low key. It's because there's a big jump at the end, and it gets higher. But at the same time, this is just a bad decision. Mic technique does not exist. It's so bad. I don't like what I just did. I don't think it's that. Like, listening here, I could have sung that high bit much higher, and I think that key, even with the high bit, is way too low. I think if I'd sung it a tone or even 2 tones or a tone and a half higher, I think it would have sounded way better and the low notes would have been much more audible and easier to hear. Alright, so this next one is my attempt to sing something very technically challenging, or at least what I thought was technically challenging. There's a lot of melisma here. So melisma is the technical term for runs. It's basically when you have multiple notes in a syllable. So this is kind of a Middle Eastern inspired song. If anyone hasn't heard the song, it's called Bedouin Song. It's by an artist called Lior, who's Australian. And I did it for a music festival audition thing. So we had this thing at school every year. I came second in it, which actually wasn't too bad considering like we had a lot of people enter it. I haven't actually watched this in a while. I've been a bit afraid to watch this. It's not my favorite version of I did a lot better when I did it for my exams. I just like to pause here because unrelated to my roasting myself, I just like to point out that the person playing guitar is awesome DJ Sippy. So if anyone has not heard of Sippy or has not heard her music yet, go check her out. She's awesome. And yeah, we went to school together and she played guitar for me, which was really cool. She's very talented. Considering this was filmed on my crappy little Panasonic cameras, audio quality isn't too bad. That bit was good. And the transition to head voice was very smooth, which I had a lot of problems with before this. Like I don't think the tone is bad. I just think that it would sound a lot better if I'd been allowed to use a microphone. Yeah, it's not terrible. I'm gonna show one that is terrible. And you'll probably agree with me. It's pretty bad. So a little bit of background to this. This is a version of a Kurt Hugo Schneider and Sam Sui summer pop medley thing of like all the hit songs of that year, 2010 one. And I remember I learnt it pretty much by ear. The only thing that I messed up badly, because I couldn't do this on the guitar when I was 16, was the key change. So I just kind of played it without the key change and just did the whole thing in the original key and just kind of had to work around it. I just want you to be aware that this video is sideways.
You got me like, oh my gosh, I'm so in love. I found you finally. I could really use a wish right now, a wish right now, a wish right now. Oh.
I hate the way I'm singing the word now. I could really use a wish right now, wish right now, wish right now. Like, I could do something to make it interesting, but I don't. And I think it's because I'm trying to focus on playing the guitar and singing at the same time, which I admittedly wasn't great at that point.
Oh my gosh, I'm so in love. I found you finally. I could really use a wish right now, a wish right now, a wish right now. Cause I know a place where the grass is really greener. Warm, wet.
I know a place where the grass is really greener. Like, that could have been so much more smooth, but I'm like, I know a place where the grass is really greener. Like, it's just awkward. Sounds pretty bad.
And wild, there must be something in the water.
I think the pitch is okay,
What
but the
you
tone
got is hard to find. I think about it all the time. Of my mind, you can travel the world, but nothing comes close to the golden coast. If you party with us, you'll be finding love. Oh, 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 California girls were unforgettable. Your love, your love, your love.
I'm surprised I was allowed to sing this.
Sun-kissed skin so hot, oh, like your popsicle. Your love, your love, your love. She hides true love, so see your love. With so many ways to love you, oh, I fell in.
Oh god. With so many ways to love you, oh. I think that's what I was trying to do, but it sounds like, you know, what it looks like when you see it online and what you get in the mail.
Love shawty when I seen her on the dance floor, but she won't look at you, won't look at you. She was dancing crazy, pop, 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 and drop, and drop.
I believe the original lyric was she was dancing sexy, but I wasn't allowed to sing that.
Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? I'm not sure, babe.
I think, can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky like shooting stars? Something like that. And I couldn't do that, so I just kind of copied the previous line and it didn't sound good to begin with.
I'm not sure, babe. Alejandro, Alejandro, oh, 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 oh. Oh my gosh, oh, oh, oh.
Okay, so that was just before the key change, and I think the less said about that,